Well, good afternoon, everybody. Mr. President, Dr. Biden, Madam Vice President, and Mr. Imhoff, Department of Defense leadership, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Armed Forces Farewell Tribute in honor of our 46th President. For more than 5 decades, President Joe Biden has thrown himself into public service. And over the past 4 years, he's secured his place in history as one of our great foreign policy presidents. As Secretary of Defense, I have seen this, and I've seen his leadership up close. He took the oath of office as America faced a moment of great challenge. The COVID pandemic was raging, and our allies and partners feared that America had lost its way. President Biden helped America and the world recover from the pandemic. And he renewed American leadership around the planet. President Biden dramatically strengthened our unmatched global network of allies and partners. He rallied the free world to help Ukraine fight for its freedom after Putin's indefensible invasion. He positioned America to succeed in strategic competition with the People's Republic of China. He orchestrated a new convergence in the Indo-Pacific around a shared vision of security, openness, and prosperity. He reinforced NATO, which is now larger, stronger, and more united than ever. He shored up Israel's security after the vile October 7th terrorist assault by Hamas. He helped defend Israel from outrageous direct attacks by Iran. And he's prevented the Middle East from erupting into an all-out regional war. And he has just secured a ceasefire that will stop the fighting in Gaza, surge more humanitarian aid to suffering Palestinian civilians, and reunite the hostages with their families. In Afghanistan, he ended America's longest war, one that spanned 4 presidents, and he refused to hand it over to one more. And he has always understood that the power of our example counts for more than the example of our power. President Biden showed the world the strength and the resolve that only a democracy can muster. Now, as I said, his leadership is rooted in his decades of expertise. President Biden processes policy at graduate levels. And I learned quickly that whenever I went over to the White House, I needed to be prepared to dive deep on key issues, because inevitably, the president will send a question your way. And he'll ask something that takes it to the next level. He insists on hearing a range of views, and he's not afraid of making the big decisions. And he also has a secret weapon, because he's not just the president, he's also Dr. Jill Biden's husband. America knows Dr. Biden as a great educator and a role model. But at the Department of Defense, we also know that she's a proud daughter of a World War II veteran. And she's a long-time champion of our military families and veterans. Dr. Biden, we are deeply, deeply grateful for your continued leadership of joining forces. Your work increased employment opportunities for military spouses. It improved education for military children. It enhanced military family health and much, much more. And it was great to get to visit Maxwell Air Force Base in Alabama with you recently, where we got to see a universal pre-K class at a Department of Defense school up close. Now, our first family is also a military family. President Biden and Dr. Biden know firsthand what our military families carry, both the worry and the pride. And you can see it in their fierce love for our troops. And I've seen it over and over again. I've been there, Mr. President, when you've reached out to grieving families. I've seen you focus your entire being on a service member, a military spouse, or a military child. And by the way, nobody is going to stop Joe Biden from wading into a crowd of troops. He loves to grab a service member's cell phone and call a stunned loved one. And of course, everyone gets a selfie. Mr. President, that's just who you are. You've pushed hard to make life easier for our troops and their families. Base pay for our troops is up almost 10% since you were sworn in. We're expanding access to affordable child care. And we're doing far more to help military spouses excel in their own careers. And President Biden has also worked hard with Congress to invest in America's future. The department's budget last year was $100 billion more than in his first year. And that will help keep our United States military the strongest fighting force on earth. Now, President Biden always ends his speeches the same way, with the same 5 words. He always says, "May God protect our troops." And he means every word, every time. Mr. President, it has been an honor to serve with you. And I hope that future presidents and secretaries of defense will enjoy similar relationships of trust, candor, and friendship. Our entire department stands together today. We salute your service to the republic that we defend. And we are deeply, deeply grateful for your love of our troops. Thank you, Mr. President and Dr. Biden. May God bless you and your family, and may God continue to bless the United States of America. Ladies